Hey team. So yesterday's sermon was sort of the climax of the controversies in the church sermon series. We still have one more coming up this upcoming Sunday, but yesterday was all about homosexuality, and that is the single most divisive issue that we are dealing with in this congregation and in this denomination. And so what happened when I was writing the sermon is, because this is such a big deal, it's such a touchy issue, I actually was the sermon got really long. I was trying to include everything into one sermon, and it just wasn't, it's not possible. And so I cut big pieces of it. And so what I thought I'd do is sort of throw them into these little videos to sort of round out the sermon from this past Sunday. You can check that sermon out on the website or on our Facebook page in the live stream as well. But anyways, so there was a piece where I had a buddy come up to me, probably a couple of months ago, and he said, honestly, I just want to go to a church that's not fighting about this issue. Like I'm so tired of the drama. I just want to go somewhere where we're not fighting about it. And I said, man, you find that church, you let me know, because the truth is every denomination has had to deal with this issue. Now, there's a few, like the Baptists and the Catholics, who have doubled down on the conservative side, right? They voted on this topic, and they have chosen, we're going to stay conservative. And then there's a few like the UCC, the United Church of Christ, or the Unitarians. I don't know if Unitarians actually classify themselves as Christian because they're Universalists. But anyways, the UCC, they think of themselves as Christian, and they've chosen to double down on the liberal side. And it's funny to me because some people, I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's not funny. But it seems that some people are mistaken. A lot of people seem to think, if we could just change this teaching, or if we could just keep this teaching the same, then it will solve all of our problems. Like I have some very liberal friends, and they will say, if we could just get rid of those conservatives, people would just flock back to the church. I would be so excited because our doors would finally be open and we would be welcoming and inclusive. And then I've got some conservative friends who say, we are struggling and we are declining because of those liberals and their agenda. But the facts, the data in front of us actually says that both of them are wrong. Most major denominations who have dealt with this issue have split right down the middle. Well, they don't split down the middle, they split, and then there's winners and losers, where they, one of them is bigger. But the problem is, after they split, both sides continue to decline. In 1988, the Lutheran Church split over this issue. There are now two major Lutheran churches in America. There's the ELCA on the one side and the Missouri Synod on the other side. Guess what? Since that split in 1988, both types of Lutheran churches have declined nationwide. One of them 23% and one of them 12%. Running away from each other did not solve the problem. Another example is the Presbyterian Church, which split in 2011. Now get this, there is now a Presbyterian Church of America, PCA, and the Presbyterian Church of the United States of America, PCUSA. Which, to my Presbyterian friends, I love you, but that's not different enough. You need to give us titles that are more different. But anyways, since that split, the conservative element was much smaller, and they have grown a little bit, and then the big side, the liberal side, has actually shrunk quite a bit. The Anglican Church has split, Europe versus America, very recently, and since that split, both sides have continued to suffer. And so people are wondering, is the United Methodist Church going to be next? Are we going to split? And the truth is, possibly. There's a pretty good chance that there's some kind of a denominational shift that is coming for us. But what I wanted us to understand yesterday, and I want you to understand it now, is that will not be the end of the conversation. That's not going to be the end of the drama and the difficulty, because beyond this conversation, on a deeper level, we need to know how to talk to each other. We haven't figured out how to deal with people we disagree with. And until we learn the lesson from Jesus on how to replace hatred with love, we will find something else to fight about. We will find some other reason to fight and bicker, and we will continue to decline until we learn how to replace hatred with love. So that was kind of my little bit from the sermon. So you guys have a great week.